Alright, y'all, so today I'm repacking the burns on my hubs on this pop-up camper. And you go 500 miles one day and then 500 miles back. You don't want no problems. But y'all can feel these burns are tight, but I'm gonna go ahead and bust her off here. I've already done the other side. I know the back's still packed and the seals are still good. Maybe this will save you a little money and you can pack your burns yourself. Because a lot of people, they'll hook on to a trailer year after year after year after year. Never pack the burns, never check the burns, just like in a vehicle. And then, one day you'll just be sitting on the side of the road with the burn out. And then it's going to cost you quite a bit of money to get it fixed. Have somebody come out and get you. But hopefully you can prevent that. And like I do, if I'm going on a trip or doing anything with my truck, my trailer, or anything else, I'll go ahead and I'll get spares and take them with me. That way if I got problems, I can just do it myself, fix my problem, go on about my rat killing. So what this is a front and a back burn and a seal. I got my grease here, and if I break down on the side of the road, well, I can fix it right there. And I ain't in a bad place, or if it's dark or whatnot, I can just do it myself, and I ain't helpless. But that's pretty much why we do things like this. Also save us money. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to knock this little cap off here. Just like that. And right here, you got a cotter pin. We're going to bend that cotter pin back out. Work straight. See how that nut's loose on there? And that's what you want. You don't want this thing cranked down tight, because you get your burn hot and burn it up. Take your sledge, stick a screwdriver in that opening. That fairly straight, pull that pin out. That's step number 2, your cotter pin. Some people don't know what that is, but it's probably the people that need to learn this. Straighten it out to where it's flat. And don't be like so many people that go out with a trailer on and not even have a spare for it. Now you see, you can take this castle nut, crown nut, Back it right off that spindle. Wipe a little grease off of her. Set it in a hub where we don't lose it. Then take this hub assembly, grab that bearing, look at it, look it over. There ain't no pits, there ain't no wear, there ain't nothing. Still a good hub, full of grease. That's why I ain't gonna change them. Just gonna repack them. Set that aside. Pull that assembly off. That inner bearing's plumb full of grease. I ain't gonna mess with it and knock this seal out if I don't have to. These are older seals and a lot better than the ones today. Another thing, you see down in there, see all that grease that's inside of this hub assembly? You don't really need all that in there, in between those bearings. Grease don't work where it's not needed. All that don't even need to be in there. So we got everything off. Get this thing up here. We want to inspect this spindle. There's no pitting, no wear marks, no nothing. It's all good to go. So now we'll pack our bearing, our front bearing, and put her back on there. All right, y'all. So we got our tapered bearing here now cleaned up. And you can see there's a real thin gap right here. Then there's a wider gap here on the back. That's where you put your grease in at. And as you're putting that grease in, you'll see that grease ride up through these needle bearings, and then to start pushing up in between this little gap. Pushes all the air and all the old grease out of it. And then you'll have new grease throughout this whole bearing. So let's do that. And what you want, get you a tube of this here high temp grease. Set it right here. I'll get all my paper towels and my parts, everything else situated. Now what you're gonna do, you're gonna take your little old finger, about that much, set it right here on the heel of your hand. Now, we're gonna take that wide opening there now in that bearing. We're gonna start pushing this in there. Just a little at a time. Spinning a little bit. don't want to get too big a hurry now. Slow and steady wins the race. Trying to get out of that sun. Just pack that in there. Just get you a little bit of grease and push down on your hand. You'll go in there. Once you do one, you'll understand, you'll get it. Just keep on moving around. Before long, you'll have grease coming out the top. And all the air pockets out. Now, if there's a better way out there, that's fine too. This is just the way I do it, the way I was taught, so this is the way I do it. Let's get this pushed out right here so y'all can see it. Now, if you look real close, you can see where I'm starting to push that grease to the top. You just gonna want to do that all the way around it. See, you got grease all the way to the top. Just keep track of where you at, keep watching, keep pushing grease. Grease all the way around that little crease. See that grease coming out of the top? Alright, now we got grease all the way around, no air pockets. Take this excess grease, wipe that off. That burn is packed. Now we're going to make sure this spindle's clean, no grease, no dirt, no sand, nothing is on this spindle. We're going to take our hub assembly, slide it right back on the way you took it off. And the easiest way to remember how you took it off, the studs will be to the outside. Get some more of this crap grease out of here. It don't even need to be in there. It ain't terrible. But now, we're going to ease this back on. Nice and easy. Then we're going to take a bearing that we just packed. Small side on the inside. You can tell the taper by the race that's inside of the hub assembly. We're going to put our taper to the inside, slide that on, wipe the grease off again. Then take our castle nut, thread that old bad boy on. When it gets snug, you're going to spin that hub. Tighten a little more, spin that hub. That way you're setting your bearings. Back it off, spin that hub. Tighten it up, spin that hub. Back it off, spin the hub. That way you're getting everything aligned in that hub. Everything's going to run smooth for you. Tight. That's what you want. You don't want no slack in none of this. Back it off. Spin it. Tighten it up. Spin it. Now, clean your castle nut off. That way you can see where your hole is. I can get a hold of my cotter pin. Okay, there's my hole. That's the hole through the axle or spindle, whichever one you. Most people know what this is when they do this all the time. So, we got our nut loose. Now, if it's off center a little bit, you back it off to the very first next one. And then you put your cotter pin through. That's a little loose, so I'm going to take it back to this one. It's not tight, but it ain't loose either. On the other side, it was perfect. When you backed it, it was about half of one of these castles. I don't like it. It gives me too much play, so I'm going to bring it back. It's just hand tight. If I can get them two pieces in there, that's why you want them flat. Get the grease off my hands. So there's a hole in this spindle. Wiggle her on down there.